All right, here we go. Sarah here. Welcome back to another episode of You're Fucking Welcome. Today I have a short episode for you, but an important one. And it's something that I've talked about before, but it continues to come up with clients. It continues to be a struggle I see in their business. And so I just wanted to go over it really quickly and talk to you about it and point out to you that you might be making this mistake and it could be costing you not only sales, but like a lot of sales. And so I want to start this by sharing with you one rule that I have. And if you've taken my programs, especially the 500K sales system, you've heard me share this rule many times before. But I have a rule when it comes to offers, and it's not one that I've always followed, but it is one that has become more and more important to me as I've grown, like as the years have gone on. And that is the Friends rule. And what I mean by that is, if you're familiar with the show Friends, how they name all of their episodes, it's the one about this, the one about that, the one where this. I believe that it is such a good rule of thumb to carry that into your offers, because what so many people continually do in their businesses, again, especially when they're starting out, is they will sell things as they come to them, like as the ideas come, right? So you've got this journaling workbook and you've got this and you've got that. And as time goes by, again, you're churning out more programs. And like I said, I have been guilty of this rule. I think, 2017, I forget the exact number, but I think I created something like 30 something programs. Like I created many, many, many programs, and I'm glad that I did it that way because it taught me so much and it allowed me to experiment so much, balanced out with I see really clearly, years later that there wasn't a need to do that many different things. So the Friends rule, being able to say, this is the one about this is the one that does that. Being able to compartmentalize and differentiate your programs is so wildly important. And it's so wildly important for so many reasons. But the thing that I want to stress to you, and I know you know this, and I know I've said this a million times before, but I think as the business owners ourselves trying to get the sales, it can be really easy to forget this. But that is that people are not paying attention to your programs the way that you are. People are not paying attention to what you're selling the way that you are. There are things that I have said freaking a zillion times. And not only am I not the center of everybody's universe, so like they're not paying attention to every single word that I say, but I'm always getting new people into my world that, maybe they heard me a month ago, but they weren't ready to really receive that information quite yet. And so again, so many people are not paying attention to what we're doing, what's in the programs, the way that we're structuring things, the difference between the mastermind and the, group program, so on and so forth, not to mention the fact that everybody does things differently. So it's a situation where we think that we're saying the same things over and over again. We're saying them till we're blue in the face. We think it's so obvious. But again, so few of your people are seeing your stuff, with the reach being what it is, let alone actually absorbing every single word of that marketing, every single word of that sales page. And so the more obvious that we can make it for people about what each offer and what each program stands for, and the more clearly that they can see what they're going to get out of it, the more easily they're going to say yes. And I think this is especially true when you're in a situation where you haven't sold lots and lots and lots of programs. If you are somebody who has made millions of dollars and you have thousands of followers and thousands of people who have purchased from you, you have a big enough pool of humans that people just buy what you sell because there's enough people and they like you, and so they're saying yes to it. But if you're somebody who is still, trying to get a good following, and I don't even know like properly how to say that, because there's not as though there's like one magic number that like equates to a big audience. But I feel like if you're in that place where you're struggling to hit six figures or struggling to get to multiple six figures, and you've got the same people in your world, your audience hasn't really been growing, and you're constantly sharing and selling new offers, but you're finding that not everything is getting bitten, right? Like not everything is getting actually sold and people excited. that's a situation where I'm willing to bet you've created too many things, and you have a situation where, again, you don't have a million testimonials for each of these programs. You're just launching one new thing that's similar to the other things, and people don't necessarily see why they need to move and why they need to move now. And so you being in a situation where you have, again, a series of 4 offers, whatever it is, and they're really clearly defined, that's going to do so much for you in terms of, again, having those signature offers, giving people an understanding of what they can look forward to in that offer, where they're going to be at the end of it. And again, I think so many of us, we just believe that like we have to work harder and we have to do more in order to make more money, which is, true to an extent, balanced out with so often, and again, this is something I've certainly been guilty of, so often we have something incredible that sells really well that people love right in front of our faces. And instead of embracing that and continuing to make more money off of the work that we've already done, we feel like we have to create that next thing, do more, put new slides together, put new programs together. And again, so often it's being done to people's detriment. And so I just wanted to stress that to you today, that like you might be working too hard, and you not following the friends rule might be a really big part of that. And the other thing that I want to say just really quickly, and I know I said this like 2 episodes ago, but it's important enough that I repeat. You need to be growing your audience, period. And again, I know that that's an obvious thing to say. I do know that. Like I know you know that logically, that you need a bigger audience. But I find that so few people are really intentionally doing it on a day-to-day basis. And so what I see happening over and over again is you have, let's say, a group of 500 people. That group of 500 people, it was 0 at some point. So now you're like, God, I've got this group of 500 people. I'm killing it. They're buying my stuff. But naturally, as time goes by, some people are going to leave. And sure, it might grow a little bit, but some people are going to leave. And some people have already bought your stuff. And so what most people will do is that they will continue selling and creating new things for that pool of 500 people, because they feel like they've got to get the sales from the people that are in their world. They need to make money. They need to get the sales. And so what am I supposed to do? I've got to create something new so that the people who have been in my world actually have something new to bite into. And I get that. And I've been there. But I just want to stress here that, again, this is another way in which you are probably doing more work than you necessarily need to, because you've already done good work, right? What are your good programs that you have that people have loved, that they've bought easily? Understand that that good work needs to reach thousands and thousands more people, and they're out there. They're available to you. I had a conversation on Friday with 2 incredible women who have a company that is all about like folklore and magic and all of these just like really cool things. And it's not, I don't want to say like it's not typical in the sense that it's, I don't want to act like business coaching is the one and only niche, right? Like something outside of that is different, but it's something that I definitely haven't seen, personally a ton of, especially in the online space. And, they're killing it. They're doing an incredible job. They're making multiple 6 figures, and like they had, never had business training or anything like that. And they're doing incredibly. But I was just stressing to them, I was like, you've done a really good job, and you've barely scratched the surface in terms of who you could actually reach. If you already have reached this many people, there are 10 times that amount of people itching and waiting to just hear what you have to say and to know that you exist. And so again, it can be so easy to forget that when we're in the trenches, right? Like when we're in like the dirt of our business and we don't actually realize that, God, we've done all this incredible work. We just need to make sure that it reaches more people instead of, oh God, we need to do more work so that our existing people continue to buy. And so I just want to stress that again for you, because you streamlining your offers and being really intentional about what does what, and then getting that core curriculum, if you will, that core like umbrella of what you actually deliver and deliver really well, getting that out to more people is by far the easier way to make money. And again, I just want to see more of you see that and be easier on yourself in this way. Because again, I see a lot of people beat themselves up, and it feels like this thing of like, I've got to work harder, I've got to do more, I've got to create more. And like I said, I feel like very often that is not the case. It's a situation where we have to let things be a little bit easier and understand that, again, oh shit, I'm brilliant. I've done a lot of really great work. And if 500 people wanted it, there are 500,000 people out there who want it. And I need to focus on getting this incredible work in front of them versus creating more for the sake of it. Okay? So if you are in that place right now, if this is something that you are struggling with, if you feel like you have created a bunch of things and you've got lots of offers, you've got lots of things you've sold, you've got lots of ideas for things that you could sell, and it just looks like a mess. And I don't mean a mess in a bad way. I just mean that like there's a lot fucking going on. Like we're looking at the big picture and there are so many different things there. I always call them tentacles, right? Like your business just has tentacles. Everything's going all over the place. If you're sitting there feeling like you need to streamline this, the money map, my one-on-one intensive, is the smartest move, honest to God, that I think you could possibly make. Because this is where we can look at all of your offers. You know, it's a big part of, I always talk about this, but like, I always want to stress here that like we could sit there and talk about your marketing and we can sit there and talk about, you know, how you're growing your audience, and that's valid, but we have to reverse engineer. We have to start with how are we monetizing? So we start with what are the offers that you have? What do we need to streamline here? What needs to be, what situation do we need to create where you are getting the biggest bang for your buck in terms of the work that you're putting in, right? So again, looking at your offers, looking at your monetization plan, and then from there, figuring out how you're monetizing those things, right? How you're getting new audience into your world, how you're creating, you know, this freebie to this funnel, and here's how we're onboarding people into this low-end offer, and what are we upselling them to? Not to sound like an asshole, but like I am brilliant with this stuff. I am brilliant strategically at looking at these things and figuring out the puzzle pieces and where they go. And I know that so many of you need help with this and you need support in your business around, again, what goes where. I literally just view it as like a big puzzle and we're just putting the puzzle pieces in place. And so again, the money map is the smartest thing that I think you could possibly do for your business so that we could figure this out and streamline it so that you are making more money with, I don't want to say less effort, but less effort going towards the things you've done a million times, right? Getting the biggest bang for your energetic buck, putting your money where your mouth is, and like actually doing the things that move the needle instead of you creating that program or, you know, reselling creating a new offer that's similar to the last one for the 10th time. That's not the best use of your time. And so SarahJane.com, I have 3 spots available. They are normally they're normally $7,000, and this week only they are $6,000. So $1,000 off if you purchase by Friday. Again, I think it's a brilliant offer, and I think it can do brilliant things for your business, especially if you're in the place like I've shared with you that you need to streamline, that you need to simplify. So yeah, sarah-jane.com for all the details, of course, and I will talk to you in the next episode. Bye. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, I would really, really, really appreciate it if you took the time to rate, review, and subscribe. It really helps the show a ton, and I would be super grateful.